Okay, so I'm just going to kind of touch base just a little more on just area of a triangle. So just a couple things to remember. What I mentioned yesterday was when you're finding the area of a triangle, okay, there's really two different ways you could do this. So there's two ways, okay? You could have area equals 1/2 base times height, or what I like to use a lot is base times height divided by 2, okay? So two different ways. It's the same exact thing, because I want you to understand that multiplying by 1/2 and dividing by 2 is the same thing, okay? I would rather divide by 2 than multiply by a fraction. Number one, especially if I'm using a calculator, I really don't like typing anything fraction-wise into a calculator because it's just a lot of mental errors or a lot of errors when I'm typing it in there. So I like to divide by 2. The one time that I will use the 1/2 is when I'm like easily can see what half of a side is. Okay, either the base or the height, and I'll mention that in just a moment. Okay, so let's just say I have, I'm going to give you the same dimensions. Okay, so I'm going to give you, so the base equals 8, the height equals 9. Okay, so I'm going to go both ways. So if I plug it into here, area equals 1/2, the base was 8, the height was 9. Okay, or I could do it this way, area equals base was 8, height was 9, divided by 2. So let's solve this way first. So what I like to do is I like to group it. So if I'm doing this way, I like to say, okay, what's 1/2 of 8? Well, 1/2 of 8 is 4. So 4 times 9 is 36. So the area equals 36 units squared. And I say units because I don't have a label. It's like an invisible unit. If you don't have anything there, you always say units if they don't give you one. Okay, so if I'm over here, I take 8 times 9, and I get 72, divided by 2. So 72 divided by 2 is 36 units squared. So I get the same exact thing. It's just when I give you easy numbers, it's super easy to be able to see what 1/2 of 8 is. Okay? Now, I like to use it with that, just on easy ones. But when I get into my more complex triangles or anything like that, I always use divide by 2. Okay? And if you noticed yesterday, sometimes I'll forget to even divide by 2. It's just super important to understand to divide by 2. Okay? So I want to look at this example. So this is technically what we call an obtuse triangle. Okay, this angle up here is bigger. So if I look at this, okay, remember I told you yesterday the height and the base meet at a 90-degree angle. Okay, that's super important to remember. And if you look at the 90-degree angle right here, okay, they will 9.9 times out of 10, they will actually give you the box to represent a 90-degree angle. Okay, so a 90-degree angle is where two lines meet at 90 degrees, and they label it with a box. So if I give you, like, say this is 13, this is 11, okay, don't get confused by that, because I really don't care that that's 13 or that's 11. To find the area, I care about the base and the height because it meets at a 90-degree angle. Okay, so let's plug them in. So I'm going to show you both ways. Okay, area equals 1/2 base height, and area equals base height divided by 2. Okay, so if I do it one way, so my area equals 1/2 base times height. Okay, well, 1/2 of 18, what's half of 18? Yeah, exactly, 9. So then I have 9 times 6. 9 times 6 is 54 units squared. That's one way, okay? I just took half of 18, which is 9, and then I multiplied by 6. So over here, you get 18 times 6 divided by 2. Well, 18 times 6 is 108. Divide by 2, you get the same answer of 54 units squared. Okay, so then I would go over here, type in 54 units. Okay, remember, they meet at a 90-degree angle. They have to meet at a 90-degree angle. It's super important. Don't worry about any of those. Okay, don't worry about any of that. Worry about where the height is compared to the base. Okay, so let's look at another example. Okay, I'm going to change it up just a little bit. So I'm going to add, I'm not a good drawer, so I tried to pick these images from the internet so I didn't have to draw for you. So let's just say that this is 14.5, okay? I'm going to say it's a decimal. Let's just say, okay, 14.5. So this is my base. Right here, it's 14.5. Now, this cannot be my height. That is not my height, because this is not a 90-degree angle. That's not a 90-degree angle, okay? So don't get confused, okay? This right here is my 90-degree angle. So this isn't really part of the triangle. It's just you have to draw it and extend it out, and we do that for you, so that way you don't have to worry about a protractor or anything like that. This is the height, okay? So the base equals 14.5. The height equals 10. So then both ways, ready? Here we go. Area equals 1/2 base times height. So then area equals 1/2. The base is 14.5 times the height is 10. Okay. Well, because of what's called the commutative property of multiplication, I can take 1/2 of 10 instead of 1/2 of 14.5. So then I get area equals 5 times 14.5. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of scratch math off to the side. 14.5 times 5. $72.5. Now I have a label of meters, so it's meters squared. Okay, this is a problem that I would probably do the other way, so let me show you the other way. So let's go green. Area equals base times height divided by 2. So then I plug in the numbers. It gives me area equals 10 times 14.5 divided by 2. Well, 10 times 14.5 is 145. Divide by 2. Okay, you get the magic number. You got it. 72.5 meters squared. Boom. Same answer. You should always get the same answer no matter which way you solve it. Okay? You just got to remember, multiply by 1/2 or divide by 2. Okay? Let's do one more example. One last example before I'll let you guys do your little practice problems. So, here we go. I kind of have this done for you. Okay? But I'm going to change something up. Okay? Once again, if I have we'll use a more fancy pencil. So if I have that's too big. Let's erase it. Okay, if I have 11.5 and 10 and 1/2. Okay, do you care about this or this? No, you don't. Okay, cross them off. Don't use them. But what I am going to do is I'm going to switch it up. because your guided practice that you have after this will do that. I want to make the height 7 3/4. Throwing a fraction at you. Now you should know, and I'm going to talk at the end, you should know that to do this, you don't have to do a fraction. Let's convert it to a decimal. Super easy. So my base equals 10 centimeters. My height equals, I'm going to convert it, 3/4 equals 0.75 as a decimal. So the height is 7.75 meters. Centimeters. Just kidding. So then let's kind of have it one way written right here. Okay? We know the answer is going to be 35, right? Cool. But it's not because I switched it up on you. So don't think you're Mr. Smarty and skip over this. So area equals 1/2 times 10 times 7.5. Okay? So 1/2 of 10 is 5 times 7.75. Well, I'm going to grab my calculator real quick. Just save you a little bit of time in this video. So 5 times 7.75, so I don't make a mistake, is, 38.75 centimeters squared. Okay, so that's one way. Now, if I do the other way, let's do something a little nicer. Okay, it's area equals base times height divided by 2. You're gonna hear me say that for like a long time. Okay, area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So then I take 10 times 7.75 divided by 2. Gives me 77.5 divided by 2. So let's say, gives you the magic number, once again, of 38.75 centimeters squared. Now, did I use a calculator? Yeah. But did I write out my steps and actually use paper and write it? Yeah, this is digital, but it's still writing it out on paper. Don't just do everything in your head, because that's when you make your mistakes. So that's how we solve an area of a triangle. Now, I mentioned this in the video yesterday, and this is kind of where we're going to go tomorrow. So I'm going to end with 2 things. Okay? I'm going to draw a shape. Don't judge my drawing. Actually, let's insert, maybe, nope. Let's add a ruler. So glorious thing of a computer is a ruler. Gives me a straight line. And that might not be perfect, but it's better than it would be. Okay, so that's pretty close to a square. I think a lot of you will agree that's pretty close to a square. Okay, rectangle, square. These are all 90 degrees. Okay. So what if I do this? What if I cut it in half? And then I would split it apart. Do you think triangle A and triangle B, if I add them up, you would get the same area as the square? A lot of you are like, duh, it's super easy to see. But what if I draw something like this? A rectangle. And I cut it into 2 perfect triangles, A and B, and I break them apart. This triangle is 1/2 of the area. This triangle is 1/2 of the area. This triangle is 1/2. This triangle is 1/2. That's why when you're finding the area of a triangle, you multiply by 1/2, because a triangle is 1/2 of a rectangle or a square. So make sure you remember that. Even if I do this, same size. So let's just say I have the same size square. I know it's terrible. This is why I'm not a drawer. If I break it up like this, and this is A, this is B, and they're both littler rectangles inside, this is the same area as this. It doesn't matter if you break it down the middle or you break it diagonally. This is 1/2, this is 1/2. This is 1/2, this is 1/2. So make sure you understand that concept. We'll go more in depth on that tomorrow, okay? So, when you look at that, okay, remember that. Now, I'm going to leave you with this little note. 1/2 equals 0.50 as a decimal. 3/4 equals 0.75 as a decimal. 2/3, which I'm not going to give you, equals 0.66 repeating, right? Okay. 1/4 equals 0.25. 3/4 equals 0.75, which I already gave you right here, just repeated myself. Okay, 2/4, hopefully you know, is 0.50. Okay, if I can think of any other ones, 1/5 equals 0.20. Okay, so those are common ways to convert a fraction to a decimal, something we learned back in like quarter 1 going into quarter 2. So make sure you remember that. So do your best on these today. I didn't make any mistakes or mess up any of the Microsoft forms, so you should be able to see your grade right away, get it placed. Just remember, add the label to the Microsoft form. Last point, okay? Add the label to your Microsoft form. It gives you the directions on there. Go into the Teams assignments tab, and you'll find your assignment in there. So hopefully this video helped you. I know it was a little longer than a lot of you probably wanted, but I miss you guys. I know we won't have a normal school year the rest of the year this year, but just know that I think of you guys like every day. So just miss all of the interactions we have in class and just the fun stories and times that we had each day. So hopefully you guys are doing okay at home. Remember, reach out to me if you ever need anything. Always have my phone with Microsoft Teams on it. So have a great rest of the day. Get your homework done. Go outside, play fun, have fun. Whatever you do, go do. See you.